Hello and welcome back to another University Deep Dive. Today we're profiling the Rotman School of Management at the University of Toronto. And to help us out, we've got student Shannon Woods. Shannon, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're super excited. To get us started, as always, we'll turn it over to Spencer.
Thanks, Sam. And, Sam's always excited for these things, Shannon. So it's good to have him. It's good to have you. Appreciate your time today. This is a topic that for those who are watching is really valuable, and that's to understand what it means to study real estate at the University of Toronto's Rotman School of Management. And I think I got that right. And so maybe that's the first question I'll throw over to you, Shannon. What does it mean to be a MBA student studying real estate at Rotman?
Yeah, so what's unique actually about studying real estate at Rotman is that it's actually a really tight-knit group. So a lot of people come to do their MBA at Rotman and they're focused on finance or consulting. But those of us focused on real estate are, we're a smaller group, we're really tight-knit, we lean on each other, we ask each other questions, and we kind of get to know each other. And we got to know each other really early on in first year and built pretty strong relationships. And yeah, so it's just like a nice, smaller, friendly group that I know that I'm going to be be friends with them for a very long time. So
yeah, and I love to hear that. I went to what I also consider a kind of tight knit program where there are 25 of us in a cohort. What about at Rotman? How many students in your year, or how many real estate students per year are graduating from Rotman?
So I believe the size in total per year is about 170 to 180. And then I would say the real estate students are probably closer to 30 to 40. It depends per year. But those really, really focused on real estate, yeah, probably closer to 30.
Yeah,
per year.
Great. And so studying real estate, what does that mean from a degree standpoint? Is there a certificate in real estate you get? Is there a concentration in real estate that you formally declare? Or is it more of just kind of generally, this is the path I'm taking, and this is what I'm pursuing, and you kind of informally declare real estate as a path?
In first year, it's a ton of core courses that everyone will take. And this allows you to get a really well-rounded business skill set. So you take finance, accounting, economics, and some general courses to start. And then in second year, it's more of a choose your own adventure. And at this point, you would decide to go the real estate route or whatever route you decide. If you were to go the real estate route, there are 3 core courses that you would take: real estate investment, real estate finance, and real estate development. If you take these 3 courses, then you are technically majoring in real estate. In addition to that, you can take a number of courses that they recommend as complementary for a real estate focused student. But it's loosely structured. So if you take those 3 core courses, yes, you're a real estate major. And that said, you could, double major. You could do those 3 real estate courses as well as take all of the core finance courses or management. So yeah, it's pretty flexible.
Great. Now, what about electives? So beyond the 3 real estate courses, are there real estate electives that you can take if you want to dive into a specific area of real estate, or how does that work?
Yeah, so those are the real estate courses. For electives, there are just so many complementary courses for real estate. I would say one of the main ones is just corporate financing. That's obviously really important. So there's lots of finance courses. There's also like game theory is great. There's just a number of loosely related courses, but nothing else that's entitled, real estate.
Got it.
Because it's kind of a smaller knit group.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And what about extracurricular? So the classroom's one thing. But in what way do you as a real estate student get involved outside of the classroom to further your real estate career?
Yeah, so that's actually something that really drew me to the school. The University of Toronto campus is located in the heart of the city. So not only is the real estate community within Rotman really tight-knit, but it also is really tight-knit within the city of Toronto. And so the school's location within the city really allows students to, in the middle of the day, go down to meet professionals for lunch. There's a number of ULI and NAOP, which are 2 great organizations that run conferences, breakfasts, lectures, in normal times when we could actually all get together that are hosted downtown, and it's really easy access. So that's one way to get engaged on your own accord. Another way to get engaged outside of the classroom at Rotman is through our real estate club. So we have a club called the Rotman Real Estate Association. And this year I'm the president of that. And so it's run by second years. On our team, we have 5 others. So we're a really tight knit group. We meet once every 2 weeks to plan our events for first year students. So joining that club's a really great way to get involved with your peers. And in turn, your peers can give you advice on interviewing, case competitions, or connect you with professionals in the industry. So that's another way. And a third way to get involved is Rotman runs a ton of speaking panels, and lots of them are real estate focused. So they're run and really awesome speakers come in. And so yeah, that's the third way to get involved.
How about alumni? How large is the real estate alumni base coming out of Rotman and out of the University of Toronto at large? And how much interaction do you as a real estate student have with those alumni?
So I don't think I can tell you the actual number because I don't know and I don't want to say the wrong number, but it's big, but at the same time, again, it's tight knit.
Yeah.
We would normally have a ton of exposure to them because typically we bring in lots of our alum for speaking events, and we've already had a handful back this year. Alum also are generally really generous with taking students on site tours of projects throughout the city. That's happened, over the course of many, many years. We've been downtown to lots of sites under construction, gone into professional offices in boardrooms and heard about how investments are made. So yeah, there's a lot of alumni engagement. And then one great thing about Rotman is if you're a Rotman alumni, you're welcome to come back and audit courses and sit in. And if you missed a course, for example, you can just sit in and audit a course for free. So that's one real big perk about being a Rotman alum. Come back and audit a couple courses that I wasn't able to fit into my schedule. So that's a really big perk. So
yeah, that's a big perk.
Great.
I'm jealous actually. That's a really neat thing. What about Toronto in general? What's it like studying in Toronto? What's the real estate scene like there? From that standpoint, studying as a real estate student in Toronto, what are the benefits and maybe some of the drawbacks, if any?
Yeah, so I guess the benefit is I personally chose the University of Toronto because I really wanted to live and work in Toronto post MBA, and so I networked really heavily within the city. I would say for people that are interested in Toronto as a possibility for your internship in the summer, it's great. If you are interested in looking elsewhere for your job, it's also your skills are fully transferable. I think the border is people see that as a bit of a barrier, but it's a really good opportunity to, live in a different country, get to meet new people, explore a different market, possibly like a slightly smaller market. But you can learn a ton. So I would say that U of T, it may seem like it's kind of going small when you'd rather go to a big university and go big. But I don't know, it gives you a good opportunity to get to know yourself, really get to know your peers. So that's on the plus. I would say maybe a drawback is if you're adamant on working in the US and you've seen the world and you kind of feel like you've been there, done that, then maybe you'd rather stay in the US. That could be a drawback.
Okay. Yeah. No. So that's a great lead into the next question, which is kind of outcomes, both in terms of roles. So those who are coming out of Rotman with that concentration in real estate, what type of real estate roles are they going into? What type of firms are they working at? Mm-hmm. And then in terms of geography, and you've already touched on this. It sounds like Toronto is a big draw for many real estate graduates coming out of Rotman, but are there other markets that you're seeing your peers that are going to work in?
Yeah, so okay, I guess the first question was the kind of roles that people are kind of taking on after.
Yeah.
Um, so we see a really great number of students going into real estate development, as well as real estate investment. Those are the two kind of main categories. So for real estate development, which is what I'm going to go into after, um, like this role, you're really focused on, you have an asset. Is it, a good time to develop this asset, or do you wait? And if you are going to develop this asset, what are your timelines? What are all the external factors you need to consider? What are our financing factors? And so it is similar to investment in a certain way, because you're really thinking about your assets, but it's different because you're thinking about, timing a lot more.
For sure.
And so investment is, slightly different, where I have less expertise, but that's a really big draw for people. Another area is just finance roles at banks, financing projects for real estate related projects. And then obviously those roles at REITs, people
Yeah.
go and work for REITs.
Yeah.
So that's another option. There's tons of good opportunities in Toronto to work at a REIT. Otherwise,
And in terms of geography, yeah, is
yes.
Toronto the primary endpoint for most people graduating out of Rotman, or are there other markets that it might end up in?
So yes, I would say most people graduating from Rotman, a lot of them that come from abroad are targeting Toronto. That's just the general sense that I get.
Sure.
A lot of people from Toronto are targeting elsewhere.
Hmm.
So, but within Canada, yes, Toronto is kind of the biggest city, biggest. It's kind of like Toronto, downtown Toronto is the Wall Street of the U.S. So it's kind of where you're looking typically if you're staying in Toronto. But yeah, like people are looking to move to New York, Boston, I guess, London. They do look elsewhere, but yes, a great proportion of the students will be looking for full-time roles in Toronto.
Now, in terms of social life for an MBA student at Rotman, ignoring COVID-19 and all that pandemic
Okay.
stuff, what's it like studying in Toronto, and what's the social life like?
Yeah, the social life is pre-COVID. The social life was really great. We would, weekly go and get a drink, as groups of friends. The real estate club, the events were much more fun in person, where
Yeah.
you actually got to network with people, go for a drink at the pub or in the corner from the school. So yeah, it is really, really fun. Ramen also hosts awesome events and caters them all. So, there's lots of great treats and snacks, which everybody loves.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun, Shannon. I've heard great things about Toronto. I haven't been. I need to get up there. So we're running out of time. I want to make sure I get this question in. It's one I ask all of our guests on this series. As you look back now at a year and a half studying real estate at Rotman, what is one experience that you can point back to and say, "Wow, that was really impactful"? And that's in terms of your real estate career trajectory.
Yeah, so I would say there are two. Is that okay?
It's okay. Yeah, that's fine.
So I would say one simple, quick one is just developing my skills through the Rotman Real Estate Club. We have access to these marquee workshops where we bring in the Marquee Group, which is an amazing institution. Rotman heavily subsidizes these courses on, building a financial model, building a real estate development model, and they're just like fantastic courses that are put on by the school. So I'd say from a technical standpoint, I've learned a ton from those, as well as also just like the curriculum within the school. So they've really complemented each other. And secondly, I think in general, just from a leadership perspective, be in second year, just being given an opportunity to run the real estate club and work with a team of five other super smart individuals that are looking to go into real estate. It's really just given me an opportunity to be a leader. And even though going into the next stage of my career, I'm not going to be the top of the totem pole by any means, but at least I know what it is to be a good leader. I've learned how to lead a team, and I've just seen myself develop those skills. And I think that's transferable for absolutely any industry, but I think that's just something that Ramen has really given me a chance to build those skills, and I think it's great.
Yeah, well, you'll get plenty of chances to use them, especially in development. So, first off, congratulations, Shannon, on your soon to your soon to graduation. Thank you for your time today. This has been really valuable. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Sam to wrap us up.
Thanks, Spencer.
Yeah, thank you so much, Shannon. We'd like to thank you for joining us here today. And obviously to our readers, thank you for taking the time to watch today's deep dive interview. And best of luck to you and to your adventure in commercial real estate.